Hello, I'm Zachary Weber,
And I'm Ryan Rock.
and this is our project for CE4370 Embedded Microprocessor Systems class.
Our motivation for this project was to directly acquire experience with embedded systems. This experience includes C coding, following schematics and protocol, and working with serial communication. The problem we were tasked with was to use serial communication between the MSP430 and a PC in order to draw a ball that falls under gravity and successfully collides with and bounces off a line.
There were several steps we took in order to satisfy the requirements of the project. To accomplish these steps, we used an initial signal from the PC to the RX or receival buffer of the MSP430. Once received, the MSP430 knows to begin sending serial data for the ball or multiple balls through the transaction buffer, or TX. UART is used for the TX and RX buffers of the MSP430 to communicate successfully. The C# GUI will then render the line and ball or multiple balls based on the data sent. The balls then fall at the rate of gravity, which is set to 98 millimeters per second squared based on a 10,000 scale factor that we used. The calculations for the ball's positions and collisions is all done on the MSP430. This is then transmitted on the TX buffer and received on the COM port of the PC.
Next, we have outlined and assigned our tasks for this project. I helped in setting up serial communication, writing C code calculations, and communicating with the TA and professors for the project. Zachary also set up serial connection, wrote C code calculations, and edited the Java GUI and eventually handled the transition to the C# GUI. Some of the milestones we achieved were setting up calculations on the MSP430, serial communication between the MSP430 and PC, and successfully drawing the ball in the GUI and having it fall through due to gravity and colliding and bouncing off of the floor of the GUI.
All right, here we have listed the justifications for our decisions on how to handle the workload of the project. Both of us were fairly new to C code this semester, so it was necessary to work in tandem on the coding of the project. Ryan was able to successfully meet with the professor and TAs for assistance. I personally already had experience with Java and GUIs, so I decided to handle the GUI from the start of the project.
There were several challenges that we encountered during this project. The initial problem was setting up serial communication between the two devices. This was overcome by switching the connectors on the RX-TX pins of the MSP430. Next, we ran into overflow and memory issues when calculating ball positions on the MSP430. This was overcome by using longs instead of ints to allow for larger values before overflow while still maintaining memory space. The final challenge we encountered was simply time management and scheduling conflicts that occurred between the two of us.
In conclusion, we were able to set up a serial communication at 9600 baud rate between the PC and the MSP430. Through this serial communication, we were able to draw the ball, have it fall under gravity, and then bounce off the floor in a perfectly elastic collision. The format for drawing the lines and balls was as follows: 12 plus 4 times the number of balls plus 2 bytes. With this format, we were able to successfully draw 11 balls and have them rendered by the GUI and bounce off the floor of the GUI. With a lot of time and effort, we successfully displayed and drew balls on the GUI while preserving serial communication with the MSP430 Launchpad. This was the first class project that taught us the intricacy and importance of both hardware and software operating in tandem.